Hey, welcome back to ZK MasterTech. Today we're day 2 at WyoTech and we're going to be touring the Diesel Core program. It is awesome. Shawn does an amazing job on this tour. You guys don't want to miss it. Watch the video all the way through. Like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Now let's check it out. All right, we got Shawn here. He's going to give us a tour. We're in the diesel side here at WyoTech.
Yeah,
So,
welcome to the diesel programs. Huh?
Yeah.
Really appreciate you coming out here.
I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time over here.
That's okay. Not everybody can be perfect. It's all good. So our diesel program is 6 months long, right? So when a student comes onto the campus, they sign up for 9 months of education.
Okay.
So 6 months of that is their core program, which diesel is a core program. It's broken up into 4 6-week phases. We have powertrains, we have FP&E, which is fluid power and electrical. We have an engines class, and we also have EMS&R, which is engine management systems and refrigeration.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and then their other 6 weeks would be an elective. We have 6 electives on WyoTech.
For the diesel program.
So diesel can take almost everything on the campus except for our trim and upholstery program.
Okay.
So if they wanted to add on the diesel on their diesel program to the advanced diesel, they could. The motorsports chassis fabrication, the street rod program, our high performance powertrains, or our business program, our ASM program, which is applied service management.
Yep.
And of course, if you take that one, you come out with a degree in 9 months.
That's what I did.
That's what you did when you came through here.
Yes.
Awesome. So you took chassis fab and ASM, right?
Yep, that was my tool.
You were here for a year.
Yes, I was.
That's awesome. So we'll start off here in this quadrant. If you look at our shop is broken up into 4 quadrants. There's 2 classrooms in each corner.
Okay.
Each classroom pertains to what's being taught in the quadrant. So over here, this is our powertrains department.
All right.
So powertrains is everything from the engine back, right? So when we talk engine back, we're talking the transmissions are coming out of these trucks. We're talking the differentials are coming out of these trucks. Going through inspection, checking different backlash on the differentials, going through the 5th wheel hitch, the transmission. That's something you can't learn just right online.
Yes.
Oh, look at this, I can click and take the transmission out of the truck and click and put it back in.
Yeah, you got to get your grimy hands on those gears.
That's right. They trucks up. They get the wheels and tires off. They'll go through all the brakes, the wheel ends, slack adjusters, all the goodies right in there.
Right.
And then understand how the air brake system works under. And I mean, we've got a great Bendix brake board over here for them to actually get a better understanding of what's under that truck on this board. And we could put bugs in that board over there and make them diagnose it just like they'd be diagnosing a truck.
Oh, nice.
So as you can see, they're working on transmissions right now. And on the transmissions, this is a basic understanding of how a transmission works. As you can see, they're pulling everything apart on these. They're going to understand how it works, the power flow works, and then what they'll do is they'll go through, reassemble it, make sure that they didn't get it one tooth off, right? As you're putting it back together.
Yep.
Make sure everything's fully operational. We'll go through manual transmission. We'll go through automatic transmissions, understanding the I-shift, the M-drive, all of the automatics out there today, and why that is important to the industry as well.
Sorry, my kids are honking the horn in the semis.
So they'll understand clutch adjustments, and that really takes up 6 weeks of this class.
Yeah.
Going through that, rotating through all of these. We also have some additional differentials we'll bring over as well. We got the through drives over here as well, so they get an opportunity to work with different differentials.
Sure. Yeah, these are just little baby transmissions here.
Yes, they are.
Big for a semi, I guess.
A lot of different props and opportunities to get a better understanding of the equipment that they'll be working with.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I got cutouts and everything. That's neat.
Auto shift there.
I'd like to do a cutout of the IVT transmission out of an 8R tractor. That'd be pretty cool.
And we'd like to know.
Yeah.
I have a couple broken ones at the shop. We've got some cores, that have... Lakeland College was supposed to pick them up, but they haven't picked them up yet. So,
wow.
I mean, we do have stuff like that.
Beat them to it.
Sitting around.
Their brake board, fully operational.
Oh, that's neat. Learn everything about air brakes. That's important in the truck world.
They only slow you down, right?
Yeah, yeah. You don't need brakes.
So you see, we got some differentials tore apart over here.
Yeah. That's neat. You guys are still keeping this place immaculate.
Yeah, you know, every night these students have to sweep and squeegee and clean these floors as best as they can.
I remember doing that very well. Was it like the last 15 minutes of the day?
Last
still?
20, 25 minutes, somewhere in there, they'll get out here and they'll move some of the equipment out of the way and making sure they're doing a really good job keeping this clean. Especially as we get over into the FP&E department where a lot of hydraulic fluid could get on the floor.
Yeah.
And so we really got to take care over here and make sure it's not slippery. You know, we really want to make sure these students are safe while they're here and no accidents. That's
Right.
the goal, right? No accidents.
Right. There we go.
See you again.
So as we get into the fluid power and electrical department, this is all about hydraulics and basic electricity.
Right.
All right. So as you can see, we got all these breadboards set up
yeah,
over
the
here.
old
So they're going to go
breadboards.
through and understand how to build a circuit, how to test that circuit, volts, ohms, amps, Ohm's law, all of the basics to electricity. We're going to understand how to use a DVOM properly.
Absolutely.
We'll also offer them an opportunity to get their. We offer a Snap-on multimeter certification, so they can actually get their certification while they're in here as well.
Oh, that's neat.
And we got these great console lab lighting boards here. They'll completely wire these up to make sure they're fully operational properly.
I need me a couple of those. That's pretty sweet.
These are amazing training aids to really teach the basics of electricity.
Yeah,
Have a
absolutely.
Real, fundamental foundation, I should say, for electrical diagnostics and
Yeah.
how it works.
Absolutely.
It's gotten resold. I don't know what's that run nowadays.
I have no idea. He hasn't sent me his bill yet.
Who did it?
I put that on Facebook.
As you can see, we're doing a little bit of torque converter diagnostics over here and understanding how that piece works in the truck. We've got all these skid steers and we got a couple of mini excavators over here. This is going to be used for starting and charging systems. So
Okay.
as they learn the basics of electricity, let's get into the starting and charging systems on this equipment. And then we're also going to use this for a lot of diagnostics for fluid power, right? And fluid power. I mean, we're going to get our bidirectional flow meters up here. We're going to measure all the systems. We're going to go through these along with, we've got where they'll really start in the hydraulics, which is down here on our benches. We've got a really great training aids down here for hydraulics. But we're going to go through the entire hydraulic systems that are out there and let them know how to identify each component in there. So you're going to have to go through the schematics and understand what each symbol means in there as well.
Oh, absolutely.
ISO symbols. We've got some custom-made dashboards basically in here.
Oh, wow.
So they'll go through, and if you look over on the back side of this, Zach, we could put all kinds of faults into this dash.
Oh,
So
wow.
we come back here and flip a switch or two, and we're actually going to put different faults in the front of this dashboard simulator. And they'll come in, they'll have to go through and do the diagnostics, see what's working, what's not working, why is it not working, what are the measurements they're getting at certain components. That way they get a real world diagnostics procedure right here on a training aid.
That would take a while to build something like that.
It has. In fact, I think we just revamped this one right here. You can see it's got a fresh paint job on it and went through. And I think we're looking to build a couple more of these as well.
Oh, wow.
Along with using the trucks in the shop. One thing that we're really proud of is that we've got the trucks down here. We've got trucks over there. We got the trucks in the back. They're going to get real world diagnostics in here as well on live trucks.
Okay. Yeah, that is
And
awesome.
equipment.
I like that board. I need to build one of those.
We'll walk this way.
Now we're getting more of my speed here.
Different types of equipment in here. We did get some brand new John Deere skids in here. We're really utilizing this once again, the hydraulics testing on these, along with something real simple but basic, is track replacement. So each one of these will get put up in the air. They'll have to take the tracks off and go through, put it on there, and recalibrate the tracks on it.
Right. And they have they align the tracks too?
Yes, sir.
Run through the track alignment?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I don't get to remove tracks this small very often. The tracks I remove, require 2 forklifts to put on, so I would love to just do tracks like that all day long. We sell skid steers and mini excavators. That's pretty much the extent that a ag dealer can sell. So we've got a lot of skid steers and a few mini excavators around, but I like to play with them whenever I get a chance. Pretty fun.
So as we get over this way, we've got some basic hydraulic boards to train on. And then we've got over hydraulic over here. The really cool thing about these is that we can actually tell the board and set it up for a piece of equipment and then put faults in it. And then they have to do diagnostics on here and tell us what the problem is.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is really an amazing training aid for the students to get, once again, the basics behind it, the understanding, and how to check for any problems on these.
I like how you have all the symbols on the board too. That's pretty cool.
It just reinforces the coding procedure as they're looking at the symbols.
Absolutely. That's important. Can't read a schematic if you don't know what those mean.
Exactly right.
That's just awesome.
So
now, have you guys always had these boards? Is this
no? These are probably about, I want to say about 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, way after my time.
Yep.
I would have loved to learn on something like this. That's pretty neat.
And like that board, these 2 boards are a little different. That one's got the LCD screens on there to put the faults in. Where this one has these switches up here. I could flip a switch here and here, and that puts in a different fault. And then, maybe if I switch a couple of other ones, that puts in a different fault. So this board's just a little bit different setup than that one.
All right, so explain how a lab would go on this board.
So we've got these sheets that we'll hand the students that it's a worksheet that they'll have to go through, and then we'll come out here and they'll wire up a system, and it will basically resemble what type of equipment they're working on. And then we'll put the fault in it, and they'll go through and diagnose and tell us what the fault is.
Right.
So they're going to be working off of a worksheet, and there's going to be an instructor there, asking them lots of questions. Well, what was your measurement here? What was your measurement there, right?
Right.
Are we having problems with a piece of equipment, right? That component is imitating. So that's how that lab goes. They'll go through. At that point, after we've done the diagnostics, what would we have to do
to
fix it? That's exactly right.
The 3 C's, complaint, cause, correction, right?
That's exactly right. So they've got to look all that information up and tell us where the problems are and how they would repair that.
Okay. Excellent. We got some cylinders.
This is really basic hydraulics over here.
The basics. Valves. Open center systems.
Yes, sir.
You guys talk about closed center systems and load sense and all that?
Yes,
that's extremely important in my world today.
Right.
Everything is a closed center system with
and it's funny how you say your world, because the one thing that we always have to talk to the students about is, as you go through our shop, you'll see some small equipment and trucks and truck engines, but we always talk to the students about taking their blinders off. Everything they're learning in this general area will take you on-road, off-road, ag, gen set. You take these skills and you can grow whatever direction you want in a career.
Yeah, because as long as you know the basics of electrical, hydraulics, you can apply that to anything because it all works the same.
Right.
So that's
kind of like an auto guy going to be a diesel guy.
Yeah. Those guys are just crazy.
Those guys are nuts. I don't know what they're thinking. We actually have, currently, we have a student that graduated the collision program who's one of the light-duty diesel mechanics up at GM today.
Hey.
So, you teach those basic fundamentals of how to learn.
Yep.
And you got the technical know-how, and this is what you're here for.
Yeah.
Right? We try to get the students out of the classroom as fast as we can into the shop to get as much hands-on. That's the goal.
You have to be good at teaching yourself, right? Because there's a lot of times where I'll go work on a system, I'll show up, and I've never worked on that system before. So I got to stop and kind of read the theory of operation first to
Right.
kind of digest it, and then I have to go diagnose it right away. And it'll
You
take
know
that
better than
information.
anybody. When do you stop learning?
You never stop
That's
learning.
exactly
Every
right.
day is a learning day.
That's right.
And I
It's
always
gonna be a
have
new
to learn the hard way.
Exactly. It's going to be a new problem every day, right?
Right.
So while we're back here, let's walk into the back here. This is our advanced, while we're back here, this is our advanced diesel area.
Oh, yeah. I never got to go over here.
No, you never been back in
No,
this area?
no, I was never special enough to come back here. Didn't have the right color shirt on.
That's how it goes. So advanced diesel. So we're just kind of skipping ahead because we didn't see half the shop yet. But while we're back here, once you're done with diesel program, you're going to come back. If you add on advanced diesel,
So this is another 3
these
months.
are all. This is another 3 months.
3 months.
These are all live work right here. We work with different employers out there that are lending us trucks for 3 months. So in those 3 months, everything they learned over there, we put the practical work over here. In fact, we go 10 steps further back here.
Okay.
As you can see, we've got engines out of trucks that we're going to be replacing engines on, complete replacements. We've got an in-frame going on. You can see transmissions out. You can see that we've got all the wheels and tires off of them, so we're going through all the brakes.
Yeah.
And most of these trucks are getting all brand new brakes put on them. We'll get the clutch, the flywheel out, send it off, get it resurfaced, put new clutches in some of these. Not everything gets replaced on every truck. The differentials will come out, we'll go through those. And in some cases, we're doing all the diagnostics on these trucks here. We call them up and say, hey, it's in here, your transmission's bad or something's bad.
Yeah.
You want us to replace it? They'll send us the parts and it'll get replaced.
Oh, that's
We'll be
cool.
going through the overheads, because we always run the overheads. We go through the emissions. We put them into a forced regen as we get them out here. When this is all done, we put them 100% back together, right? Make sure everything's done right. And then we'll do a test drive, okay? DOT inspection, the whole 9 yards before it gets delivered.
Awesome. This looks more like my work area.
Yeah.
Just stuff everywhere.
And we got trailers in here. We're trying to work on just about everything we can.
Yeah.
You know, give them the experience that we can give them. Not every class is going to get an opportunity to work on different types of trailers. I mean, we got the step deck over there that we just put a complete brand new brakes all the way around on that and wheel ends, where this one's just another brake repair as well. We work on our own equipment, whether we were lucky enough just to get a new forklift, but
Oh, yeah, that's a
we have
nice
all
one right
types
there.
of equipment that for the campus, for our maintenance department and our physical plant to utilize while we're here.
Okay.
Fifth wheel hitches, being completely taken off, serviced, greased, the whole 9 yards there.
Yeah.
This is a real live
loved.
shop experience for all the students that take this class.
Yeah, I would have loved to taken this class and learn more. You know, when I learned diesel, it was all just on the John Deere side.
Right?
You know, this is kind of a little bit of everything. Kind of makes you a little bit more well-rounded. You know.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I really like this.
So we're talking about adding more of the ag piece back here, maybe having a truck track and an ag track. So we're looking into the future on that. We don't know if that's going to 100% happen. Obviously, you've heard us talk about some of the other programs that we might be starting, and we're really looking at different opportunities.
Yeah. Well, I've seen there's a giant 8R 310 sitting up front.
There is. We've got some really good partners out there. So CMB has worked with us. We've had a couple of the larger tractors like that 8R out there. You bet. We got another one out on the ranch right now. We just purchased a 210G excavator that we have now, and because we want to start that ranch and heavy equipment operation piece together. Maybe together, maybe separate. Once again, that's another conversation we're having. But we want to make sure the students have the equipment to be able to utilize. And the cool thing about that excavator, that 210G, it's got full technology on it as well. So diving into some of the TopCon and the GPS systems out there and the precision piece, it's the future. So
Yes,
we want to
absolutely.
really be able to expand on that. I mean, we're already teaching the telematics side of things and the CAN bus and the multiplexing. This is just building on top of all the electronics, right?
Yeah. So At what point in the diesel program will the students be learning more about CAN bus and controllers? And
That's going to be over in our EMS and our engine management systems and refrigeration.
Okay.
We got a big, it's all compiled into that one area.
Sure. Because that's extremely important to know how CAN bus works and be able to diagnose it.
Yep.
I mean,
and the differences in diagnostics.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Utilizing lab scopes, your picometer and all that good stuff, really using the equipment that's out there at the technicians. The more tools you put in your toolbox, the better tech you are in some cases, right?
Absolutely.
If you have the right piece of equipment, I tell you what, and you may only need it once, but
Yeah.
that one time it could really help you.
I'm usually just thrown out into the wilderness with a rock and a stick and say, "Hey, go fix this."
Right, right.
I don't have
pine cone.
Yeah, I don't have scopes and all that fancy stuff to diagnose CAN bus. I have to just use my multimeter skills. Basically.
That's right. That's right.
But I can pretty much diagnose any CAN bus problem I got with a multimeter.
You bet.
I would say 90% of the time.
And now, how often do you find yourself having to pick up the phone and calling somebody on John Deere's end?
Oh, DTAC?
Yeah, and going, hey, I'm running into this issue, help me out.
Quite a bit. I run into issues all the time where I got to get a hold of gear because sometimes the tractor might set a code that doesn't even exist in Service Advisor, or it's a brand new machine that we don't have a whole lot of experience on. Maybe there's not a whole lot of information out there for me to get. So a lot of the times I'm contacting DTAC or CCMS, what Deere calls it. So I'll be contacting them to try to get some more information. Or, like an example, this is a good example where I put a DTAC case in. I had a new tractor. I won't say what it is, but it was the exhaust pipe before it went into the DOC. It was getting so hot that it was burning holes in the pipe on a tractor that has 100 hours on it.
Oh, wow.
With no codes, no faults. What do? Do you just put a new pipe on it and hope for the best? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a hold of Deere. I'm going to put in a DTAC case. I'm going to say, hey, this is what's going on. And then they might have me go out and do some recordings on the machine to where I'm sending them recordings of data. I'll go into the ECM and go to data lists all, and I'll give them like a 5-minute recording. I might give them a recording of a service regen on the engine, and then they can also send remote recordings to the machine so they can monitor it then. And then they might give me some advice of what we need to do to fix it, because if I didn't, I'd probably just put a new pipe on it and just wish it the best of luck. But you're talking about a $600,000 tractor that a customer just bought, and we want to make sure that it's right. So that would be like an example I'd put a DTAC case in on. Or it could be, I will probably try to run all the diagnostics I can electrically or hydraulically before I put a DTAC case in. I want to do my homework, basically. I want to do everything that I possibly can within a timely manner. A lot of times these things are time sensitive. Right. Gotta go. If I can't come up with something within an hour or two, we got to get someone else involved that, maybe Deere has seen this problem before, and they can be like, oh, well, check this. Right. Can lead you to a diagnosis faster to where you can get that customer up and running, because that's the ultimate goal, right? Getting those customers up and running. So as a dealer technician, we use Deere as a resource all the time.
That's awesome. Yeah, you got to try to find that answer, whatever it takes, right? And
right.
Hopefully you come across something that they've heard of at least once or twice and have looked into that would help you. You bet. And one thing I haven't talked about maybe as much as I should have is that every student's got to have a computer now.
Yep.
Right? Because they've got to be able to look up that OEM information. Right? We're about ready to go to the engines class where they're looking up tune-up specs, parts identification, where it's located, what it does, and then following the procedures to do a tune-up, basic things like that.
Right.
Same thing over here. These guys, you can see them there on computers over here looking up different specs they have to go through, because today's technician is not just a guy that goes to the toolbox to grab tools. He's on that computer, he's talking on the phone, he's trying to find the information that's needed out there in the industry. And you're looking for all that. And one thing I also like to tell people is, especially students that leave here, there's some tight bonds that are started here at WyoTech.
Exactly.
You may be able to call a friend and say, hey, he might be working in the same industry you are. Hey, have you run into this? You go for all the resources you can, right?
Absolutely.
And if that could help you, why wouldn't you do it?
Exactly.
So
We're going to kind of look at some of the projects going on here in the Advanced Diesel shop.
we have engine replacement in this reliable truck here. We got another engine replacement here. This is a truck from Aulick Industries that they gave us. We'll have these engines completely redone and in before the end of the class, which is in 4 weeks.
So you're going to do an overhaul on them.
So actually, these are getting 2 brand new engines.
Long blocks.
Yes, complete
Okay.
brand new. So they'll get the engine in. They'll have to take all the components off the other one, put them on the new one, and then get them completely ready to go. So I believe we've got the engine for this one. I think we're still waiting on the engine for this one, but we're being told it'll be here, so we should be good. Right? Parts.
Hurry up and wait.
That's right. That's exactly right. But there's a lot of other projects that are out there for these guys to work on. You can see on this one, we took the key pins out and got the front end off. Go through, do full inspection on that. Put new kingpins in if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Come back here. See they're going through the back end here.
Yeah. At least I get to work on stuff that's dirty.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Up front, it's all the clean stuff. When they get back here, they're definitely crawling around working on truck that has been on the road or in a field, I should say in that.
They have to learn the art of battling rust.
Yes.
So now we're back on the
Back
diesel
into
side.
the core.
The core,
Diesel.
yeah, the core side.
So now we're going into the engines section.
All right.
Over here in engines, we're going to start off with the basics. What's inside that engine? We're going to have them tear apart some of these. A lot of these guys have never tore apart an engine ever in their life.
Mm-hmm.
How often are they going to do this in the industry? Who knows, right? But realistically, if you have an understanding of what's inside there and actually have had your hands on it and get to measure, do a lot of precision measuring in this class,
Oh, yeah.
you'll have a better understanding of what could be a fault.
I had to take precision measuring WyoTech 4 times
Oh my,
because you had to do it in every single class.
yes, 4 times.
So they like pounded it into my brain.
And it was a proficiency, if I remember correctly, in each one of the automotive.
Yes, and
Yep.
and by golly, I can read a micrometer.
So they're going to go through, completely disassemble the engines, have a good understanding of what it is inside that thing, and then put it all back together. Then they'll get into the engines over here, and they'll do a lot more of the tune-ups, understanding of how it works, the components, go through the turbos, get into the rocker box. They'll have to use their computer to go in and look at the OEM specs and follow the procedure on how to tune that up properly. Everything in here with the stack runs, just
Okay.
so you know.
That's awesome. Kind of on their own little standalone unit.
Yes, sir.
So, but they don't have radiators, do they?
We don't run them that long.
Okay.
So we're going through the tune-up procedures on these. They'll get it tuned up, we'll start it up, make sure it's running properly, and check the adjustments with them, and then turn it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Before she blows.
That's exact. This is our radiator right here.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, that cooler's seen some better days.
most definitely, these definitely have seen some love over the years.
Oh yeah.
But the cool thing is we're not really product specific. As you can see, Detroit, Cat, Cummins. We got some John Deere in here as well. We got PACCAR.
Yeah.
You know, we're not sitting here trying to shove one brand down their throat.
Yeah.
I think the important thing is to have a good understanding how to use the systems, the OEM systems on the computer, where to find the information, and be able to accomplish the task that we're asking for. So
Sure.
we're giving them a worksheet. Once again, this is the task on the worksheet. Follow the steps, go find the information, and then diagnose.
Excellent. Well, you got a lot of engines here. We got a lot of students, so you need a lot of engines to run all these labs.
Most definitely. So right now we have roughly 330 students in the diesel program.
Okay.
Okay, and so once again, see the 2 classrooms here. We got 2 classrooms in each corner. So we have to have a lot of equipment and a good rotation to keep them all busy, so they're not just standing around doing nothing. We don't want to see that happen.
Oh, no.
There's no reason for that. If they're waiting for a piece of equipment, they could be over here getting all their specs over on the computers over here and looking up that information to be prepared for when they get over here.
Sure.
Plus, we have other worksheets that they can work on that's computer-based for them to find different information.
Are they looking up parts, doing any part systems?
They will go through part systems, not necessarily in this corner right here, but yes, they'll go through and have a good understanding of where to find the parts. We do have Service Advisor. They can get into Service Advisor and look through Service Advisor.
Oh, nice.
We got some students have access to the Freightliner Get Ahead program, so they can be working on training for modules and get their modules completed through Get Ahead and Service Advisor. They could do both of those.
Okay.
We'll work on some others, but those are the two most popular ones at this time.
Sure. Right. All right. What do we got over here?
This next section we're going to go into is the EMS and R section. So it's engine management systems and refrigeration. So when I talk about engine management systems, that's really using the OEM software to do diagnostics on a lot of these engines. We've got a lot of emissions out here on the PACCAR engines, on the Cummins engines that we'll go through, and we got these black boxes on the side that we can unlock, open up, and put bugs in there and make them do diagnostics on the engine.
Okay.
Tell us what's wrong. So we'll go through the whole entire emission system, the DOC, all of that stuff we've got to cover, because I think probably 50% of what's problems going into a shop today are probably emissions related.
Absolutely,
So
yes.
we've got to focus on that and spend some time in that area. We'll go through the different fuel systems out there, obviously. We're going to need to do multiplexing and CAN bus systems, go through telematics over here as well.
Oh, really?
We do talk about some GPS systems that they're going to run into out there into the industry. We don't focus on the GPS piece at this time, but we do have to get into the telematics piece.
Right.
When we talk about refrigeration, we're talking both in-cab and transport refrigeration. I will also pay for their EPA 608 and 609 certifications in here
Okay.
as well.
Wow.
So, as you can see, we're getting a lot of computers for looking up all the information. Different types of engines in here as we go through. There are multiplexing boards that they'll have to go through and completely wire up to
Okay.
get a better understanding on.
I see yellow and green and red and black. Dreaded CAN bus wires.
When it comes to refrigeration, we also talk about the tri-packs that are used on trucks today. And then you see
Okay.
all the reefers in here.
Right.
So parts identification, understanding that's just another engine and they're running, right?
Right.
So how to do the diagnostics on that. And then we do have a couple of newer trucks over here that we go through. We measure temps on the emission system. We also put them in the full regen, and they can see how to do that.
Yeah.
Have a understanding of what active and passive regeneration means. But we'll go through and we'll also do some testing on the CAN bus system in these trucks as well.
Great. Yeah, knowing what the temperatures are supposed to do is a really important thing.
Most definitely. So they're in there on their laptops and their computers right now. And you can see for the parts identification piece,
Oh,
we
wow.
have everything tagged in there so they can get in there, and they have a worksheet that they got to go through and understand what each component is and what it does.
Mm-hmm. It's nifty. Nice.
Yeah. Little Yanmars in these.
Can't go wrong with the Yanmar.
No, sir. And that's pretty much a wrap up of our diesel program.
Awesome. Yeah, dude, I am super impressed so far with everything I've seen in the diesel program. I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time over here, so it's pretty cool for me to be able to see that. So thanks for giving me a tour on
Oh yeah, not a problem. It's my pleasure.